Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
And we're live.
We're live here in the dungeon.
Welcome to the Phlarp Podcast.
What's up, guys?
The Phlarpin
The
Podcast.
Phlarpin Podcast, bro.
You guys gonna welcome me back or what?
Hell
No.
no.
That's kind of rude.
F you.
I feel like the podcast really missed something with me not being here last week.
And yeah,
Yeah,
like
an annoying
boredom.
host.
Well, I just feel bad for basically our audience because they had to listen to you talk the entire time.
I was the only thing that spiced everything up, bro.
I don't think so.
Who are we anyway? I don't know. Let's get this going.
All right, so it is
Today's
You don't know
26th,
the
bro.
date? Come on.
22nd.
It's the
26th.
26th.
26th
Bro,
of February.
count.
Hi, everybody.
C-O-U-N-T.
We're here.
Count.
And it's
And-
gone. I can't see myself. no more.
Cool.
And
Right
we're
on.
dead. Today's
right.
the 26th. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm North. Or
Wow,
Jason Smith.
That was like
I'm one of the
really
hosts.
like anticlimactic. I don't know.
Oh.
What do
Either
you
way,
want me to do? I'm North.
Hey, whoa, calm
That
down
hurt.
on the yelling.
Yeah,
bro.
sorry.
Either way, I'm Brandon Fraser or Davine Owen.
And I'm Chris or Eric the Red.
I'm David, also known as Arno.
Yeah.
Or no.
And I'm Skylar.
Yeah!
All right, guys, the yelling, it's
yeah.
got to calm down.
I'm trying to bring it.
We,
I'm
Why
gonna
don't you
force-
bring it?
I'm going to force that enthusiasm.
hold on, before you do, this episode is sponsored by
Oh.
Anytime Fitness in Farmington. Anytime Fitness is a 24-hour co-ed gym with a wonderful and bright, smiling staff. Megan Brown is the owner, and she is a very awesome individual who looks out for your well-being and hopes to get you on the right path for a healthier living.
Thanks, Megan.
Yeah,
Daniel
thank you.
Wagner and Chloe Medley are always willing to help in any way possible. They are always smiling and have a warm way of getting the things you need. Once you become a member, they will get to know you as best as they can. If you ever have any questions, they will do their best to answer it and get any information that you need. Phlarp actually has 5 heroes that are members with Anytime Fitness. These members are Eric the Red, Lord Rand Rainwalker, Raven Shadow Weaver, Lord Serednick, and Heston Iverson. So come and join Anytime Fitness in Farmington for all your fitness needs and be real AF. Call them at 573-664-1445 or email them at farmingtonmo@anytimefitness.com.
Right on.
Heck
Cool.
yeah.
Get your workout on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, is anyone else like really surprised that Eric can read?
A little.
There's a lot of reading.
It was like, I even wrote it myself.
Oh.
You can write too?
Yo, like,
God, that's a lot.
I
Oh
did.
my
Look,
goodness.
Oh, so
Good for you,
typed
man.
it out then.
What?
yeah.
Why are the-
Congratulations.
why are the red lines?
That's funny.
The red lines means that, you know,
It's
Apple
just email
doesn't,
and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
Apple doesn't understand the English language.
Mm,
Ah,
that makes sense. It's Apple's fault.
Yeah.
So anyway,
He goes.
So anyway,
It didn't click at first.
All right, so I guess we'll do our
a
our
recap. There you
Yep.
go.
do you want to do a recap or do you want to hear somebody flow?
Yeah.
Is somebody you?
Yeah.
No,
Can you flow, bro?
No,
I hope you can flow.
I can't flow.
Like flow from Progressive?
I have progressive.
So do I, actually.
No, I think I've got to go.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, the only person here with flow is probably Skylar.
Mm.
Skylar doesn't get it.
Oh, I think she gets it.
Skylar has the look of shame. Hey, Skylar, can you turn to the camera for us? Just give him that look. Yeah, the one you're giving me now. Yeah, that one.
Perfect.
Fair enough.
All right.
Gnarly.
Let's recap.
Yeah. So we did a patrol today on 3 people, right? We're with 3 people, so we had 3 new heroes
Yeah.
come out.
It actually went okay, I thought.
Mm-hmm. So shout out to them. Hope they had fun. Hope they'll be back. I think 1 or 2 of them might be, but I'm not sure about all of them. But it looked like, I mean, it seemed like it was a pretty good patrol. So,
I thought so.
and then from there we rolled into we did the costume contest.
Yeah,
Actually, we did that before
yeah, I was gonna
we
say
did
the costume
We did
contest was
costume contest first.
Mhm.
which I'm gonna be honest, I won that, but I'm not in my costume now, so y'all that can see me now, you can't appreciate the greatness that was my.
We do
elf
have a
years.
picture of it though, so I'm
Okay,
sure
perfect.
the editor will put that
Yes.
up there.
Yeah, put that
Hopefully.
Camera's over there, buddy.
up there. Put that up there.
And that's why you're not here all the time.
That's fair.
Let's see. Gregor came in second, and Trinity came in third on that. So props
Yeah,
to
good
those
for them.
guys. Had a last man standing.
Mm-hmm. After that, we did a last man standing.
Well, technically, after that, we did the patrol,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we did the last man standing. But yeah,
And
Arno finished first.
Arno
And
finished
last man
first.
standing,
Serednik, Lord Serednik,
right?
and Kaput, and then Argus.
Right. And to be fair, it wasn't Lord Serednik at the
At the
time.
time.
Right. So he did that at the end of the day. Shout out to him for becoming a lord. It's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yep.
And also a random shout out to our new marshal. We have a new marshal as of today. That was
We
pretty
do.
cool.
Do we
So-
really?
Yes.
Mhm. The non-living entity is a marshal now.
Oh,
Yep.
congrats.
Her-
So that's 4 marshals we have, if you count me.
I'm not counting you.
Okay.
don't-
Yeah,
3
I don't
marshals.
think we count you.
3 marshals.
I don't think anybody.
To be
counts
fair,
you.
I got exiled today, so I
to
wasn't
be
doing
honest,
a whole lot of marshaling. I was doing a whole lot of dying.
I mean, that's fair. I guess in my mind, I just want to count the people that help. So I
don't
didn't
you
think
do
I
much.
should count you, but
I mean, who didn't help? That's the people you should count.
right.
I serve as an example of what not to do, see. So I'm helping.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So you do that every weekend?
Oof.
Yes. Yes. I consistently serve as a bad example.
Yes.
Nah, I think you put a good example. I'm kidding.
I mean, see, I think it's a good example of, people that are actually going to participate with the RP.
My job is to delegate jobs.
Oh
That's
wow.
my job.
Here we go with this.
This
It's
dude-
like I don't even know how his head fits in the room sometimes.
I honestly didn't even hear what you said. I was so busy constructing what I was gonna say that I did not even hear what you said. What did you say?
They literally have terms for people like you, and they're not good terms.
I think the first one is,
Oh yeah, this one.
yes,
Oh, okay.
that one.
Mm-hmm.
I have been known to go by that name. There are those who call me that.
What's funny is Mercer actually said that if they had gnome ability, like if we had gnome
As a class or
as a class,
But she'd take it.
that she said, I would have came out. I'm like, why didn't you? So,
I mean, eventually we'll probably have a gnome class. I would think
Oh, I think eventually.
down the road
I don't see why there wouldn't.
on the
be.
bridge,
could be in a tree. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, on a bridge that we never get to battle.
I don't know why
Yeah.
you're so obsessed with this bridge battle.
Yeah, why do you like that bridge so much?
I mean, because I actually want to see it.
Wait, which
How many people would fall off that
which
thing?
bridge?
No, it's got sides to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. For me, like it funnels really bad. You're gonna have a lot of poking going on. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're beyond that now.
Yes,
How about that bridge?
I do not agree.
Okay, well, here's the difference. No offense, but I've done the bridge battles. They're a cluster, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And it turns into
People get mad. People are stabbing from the sides of the bridge. It's a kind of a nightmare. Is what I think.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
and-
what. You want to get on? I'll fight you on that bridge, mano y mano.
Okay.
I would love to see that.
I would too.
like fist fight.
If it wants.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of fight you want, you just let me know.
Fist
over
fight.
on the
Okay.
bridge.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Fist fight,
Yeah.
but he has to stay in the middle.
That's a done deal. That's a done deal
Play
right there.
Park in the middle now.
So to all of our fans out there, if you want to see this, you can get on our Patreon for
Yeah, if you guys-
$5 a month.
If you want to see
and we can see this.
Actually, it's $3 a month.
No, it is
you got
5.
increased to 5 because the amount that
Oh.
I get is like not worth it, or Phlarp gets is not worth it.
So I
So
miss
it's-
1 week and I know nothing.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Great.
So
Yeah.
it is
Great.
$5 now.
Yeah.
You
it's
know
$5.
why? Because now we start fact checking.
Fact.
That's
checking?
bad.
real
Just so
time?
you know, that's bad for you. Like real bad.
Oh, this is
No.
gonna be fun.
Yeah.
No,
It's gonna be real fun.
I've got my facts.
He's got 'em all. I got them all scribbled down right here.
I'm gonna fact check your facts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
They're
See?
wrong. There's a bunch of red squiggly lines underneath a bunch of them.
Farmington Mo at
Maybe he can't write.
anytimefitness.com.
That's
I know
really
that.
loud.
I know that because I actually had to pull it up on my phone. So I did my own fact checking, sir.
Fair enough.
Now what do you got to say?
Yeah. What else do you got to say? No, here's
I have
more importantly. I
no
need you
problem.
I need you to tell me what
I
happened
was trying to use that
after
forever.
Last Man Standing.
Ooh.
We did another It's All Ogre Now.
Yeah. Well, how'd that go?
I mean, it was all right, but it was a little rocky because we had less people on the monster side this time, so it was a little bit more difficult to figure out how to divvy them up. And so I ended up switching one of the heroes to the monster side, and that actually caused a little bit of a problem, but that was kind of my fault. So
You got switched back.
the
That hero.
yeah,
He went back.
Yeah,
to the
he had
hero
went
side.
back towards the end.
that's what I mean. Is he went? Yeah, I switched him back to the hero side, and then.
Technically, got moved a couple times.
Oh, really? He got moved again?
So originally he was supposed to be with the
With the
heroes,
heroes.
moved to the monsters, and then he got moved
Oh
from the
yeah,
monsters
and then we
back
switched
to
him
the
back
heroes.
again
Yeah.
because we'd added so many monsters. When we went to some marshals jumped in, you played, and I played as which I mean
It's
I
like
wasn't
we
trying
really
real hard,
needed
but-
like 2.5 people on the heroes side
Mhm.
because
Or
they
maybe
still
the
had
timer.
they won with like 11 minutes left.
Or maybe the timer needs to be a little bit changed whenever it's like lesser people or
Maybe.
something, or figure out some kind of formula. But
Yeah.
When you say lesser people, I assume you just mean less people.
yes, less number
Not
of people.
that the
Not
heroes were lesser people.
Correct.
'cause
Not like
that's-
relative to each other.
Yikes.
Yeah, wow. Because I
Like-
was one of
Not
those
like they were
heroes.
so-
Yeah, who all were the heroes?
Arno, Sir Ednick,
He was one of the
Sorry,
lesser
Nick.
ones.
and Kaput the Useful.
Yes. It
Oh.
was,
Yeah.
the first 3 winners.
Now, had like Chris been on the hero side, that would have made more sense.
Hmm.
You know, lesser heroes. Oh, whoa, that's kind of aggressive.
What?
They can see you right there.
What can they see?
Unfortunately, your face.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we played. It's All Ogre Now went pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, I
It was
thought
alright.
so.
It was okay.
I think it went
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah, the heroes won. So.
I'm sure you do.
For only, I mean, but like to be fair, we only had 11 minutes.
Yeah, so I
If
mean, it
you
really
guys
it was pretty
hadn't-
closely
yeah, If you
balanced.
hadn't
Yeah.
swapped him back, they would
Oh,
have
you
won.
would have never got past the first
Yeah.
area.
Well,
Nah,
and
nah, nah.
here's where I was like, I was even confused because normally when we do it, we have the goblins first in like the first wave, and then we have the orcs in the second wave, and then the last wave is like all of them. And this time it was like everybody, it was like each wave was the same thing.
Hmm.
So I got confused and I was like, okay. So
Well, they told me to play an orc, then to play a goblin, then to play an orc again,
Yeah.
which is what I did. So
yeah.
I definitely did like how they do it this time. How they had like everybody in each section. I did like that.
As opposed to like
Split them half and half. Yeah, I think it made
I
it
also
more
let
hard.
him choose where to put his points other than where he like relative to where he started from the ogre, he could put his points anywhere 50 feet from that as long as it was like towards town kind of. So he could have put them left or right or whatever, but he was trying to get them to go up that hill, which they did.
We
He
did
was
it
talking
at
to me
the
about
end.
that.
Yeah, they did at the end.
Because he was trying to play that mud line to his advantage or whatever. There's like a muddy line, and I was telling people they don't have to go up that way, but when he positions the res points that way, it makes it more likely that they'll come up from that direction. Which you guys were going around in the woods a lot more this time too. So is that how you ended up killing him?
We just kept fluctuating around and stuff, and we had all them thrones, and it was.
Oh yeah, some
it
of it
just
was all those-
slowly kind of
Were you guys
like
both rogues?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
They
me and-
dwindled the monster number just over time, just
Mhm.
wave after wave after wave until they basically just walked right up to him. I think. I mean,
Oh yeah, they basically. I towards the end, I had just walked up, and it was basically, we had already controlled the point at that.
I think that's
riveting stuff he's saying over here.
well, I mean, like on last week's podcast, we were talking with Wilhelm about having, that choke point down there, and with them actually going around, they were seizing the high ground first. And, that's a very vital key, is having the high ground, because he who controls the high ground controls the battle. And that's the way I've always looked at it. And I had to stop midway through because I had to do an admin thing, but as I was like still watching, it was like you guys were coming back and still get that high ground. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, he who controls the high ground gets to cut the legs and arms off. his
Hey,
enemies.
hey! You're crossing a line right
Oh,
now,
yeah,
buddy.
you're right. Sorry.
I already
sorry.
thought of that and didn't say it.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. You're right. That's one of the rules. Never mind. Forget that reference.
That's the first rule.
And that's why he got exiled. Dumbass. 100%.
I was gonna.
100%. Jeez.
Got me.
Hey, I will say, for him getting exiled, he did not get that targeted today.
Oh yeah, he did.
Not really.
I can't believe this guy looted me twice.
I mean,
This guy. I had that gem on me that would kill him, and he looted me right afterward. I just put it back in the bag. And then he come and did it again, assuming, I guess, that I hadn't went and got it yet. And then I was like, you better not do that again.
And I did it like so stealthily because I grabbed his dagger, and it was when you guys were
man,
going out of bounds.
that was this
And I
close.
walked up. I was
Killing
like,
a god.
man, these guys going out, they know the bounds. And he starts talking. I was like, it doesn't matter. It just slices through and he falls down. I was like, looting one, looting two, looting. He was like, do not do that again.
And then I went and got it. And then it was like near the end of the day, I just assumed that you weren't going to try to loot me again. And he had killed me in town and was looting me. And so I gave it to him instead.
Yeah, that is
So.
true.
Backfired on you.
So now,
But there's nothing saying I may not have it. So don't you be looting on me no more.
You still owe me two.
Oh, okay. I'll give you your
No,
loot next
no,
week.
no, no. You have to have it on you. You have to have it on you, sir.
oh, we can arrange that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got you. Bro, what are you doing over there? Just saying, like,
That was an interesting noise.
do we want to know?
Probably not.
Are you double wrapping it?
I have before.
I could attest.
Oh, good Lord have mercy.
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
Patreon.
so. And then we played Minion,
Minion.
right?
Yep.
That was it.
And I think that was the last one. Yeah.
And
Well,
Cup-
and then of course we swore in Lord.
Oh
Sir
yeah, and then after that we did a coronation on Sir Ednick. Lord,
Yep.
Lord
Also,
Sir Ednick.
Kaput also won Minion.
Kaput.
Yeah, Kaput. Isn't it?
Kaput.
His face right when you said it, he goes,
I hope he watches this and like tells me something
Kaput?
about it next weekend.
Kaput doesn't watch the podcast. Fortunately for you.
However, I think next weekend everybody's
Everyone's
come
gonna,
on
yeah, I
saying-
hope somebody mentions it to him so he says something to me.
Oh, Kaput.
Should that,
I'm gonna keep saying that
should
from
that
now
be
on.
next week's code word? Kaput. It sounds so Canadian
No.
of you.
No, that is not next week's code word. No. I like, I don't know why, but when people like misuse people's names, like specifically out at LARP, it actually kind of aggravates me a little bit. The whole like Sir Redneck comments, I'm so over it.
Is
I'm
that
over
not
it.
what he was? He wasn't going for that, right?
No. His
No.
name is Sir Ednick.
Yeah.
But
they
where
just
does it?
changed
Why
to
is
that.
it like such a strange name? Is that like
It's
Elven
like from
or some
no.
shit?
It's from some anime or something that he watched. I think.
Is it pronounced like that too?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because it literally sounds like you're saying Sir Ednick.
Yeah, that's his name.
That's his, yeah.
But when you say Lord Sir Ednick, it sounds like you're saying two titles basically, is what I was saying.
Hmm.
Because of the Lord and the Sir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like all
Sir.
one word, Serednik.
Lord,
That's
yeah.
the name.
Serednik.
Lord Sir.
Mhm.
And it
It
starts
also,
with a T.
I'm probably adding a little bit of my own, like I'm using it as a way to remember his name as Sir Ednick, when really it's probably not really pronounced that way. Like you said, it's all one thing, Serednik, instead of.
We have one hero, Yfutin, and somebody likes to call him Rasputin.
Who does that?
I'm not going to say who it is,
No. Well, it's not me. So
but that's how, because they couldn't say Yfutin, so that's the only way they could halfway remember their name. So
yeah, because Yfutin is tough.
yes,
Anyway,
I mean I'm not going to deny whether or not it's a marshal, and it's not this one.
Time to work out.
Time to work out.
nice.
Time to work out. Work out how to put my phone on silent.
So do we just get up and start doing jumping
Yeah.
jacks?
I guess. I mean, like, all right, let's do it.
Cherry pickers. We had to do that in the military. Cherry pickers.
What's cherry pickers?
Like
You just-
whenever you went into muscle failure, you just stood there and went like this. But you had to hold your. I can't do it because my shoulder. But you had to hold your arms out like this.
I'm just really thankful they called it cherry pickers and not something else.
Tuned in Tokyo.
So anyway, do you have any topics you wanted to talk about this week?
Not really, but it looks like a really full suggestion box, so we can do the suggestion box. And if we have any more room, I do have something that we can do in the meantime, which is basically just go through the criticisms that have been put in the suggestion box before, just to make sure, like I've already separated them out, just to make sure we've addressed those things, and also just as a, to make basically just make sure we've addressed them.
Like
kind
a
of.
reminder.
Yeah, and make sure that we didn't just put one back and not think about it or something.
That's fair.
But that's only if we have the time, or need
sure.
it. Yeah.
Sure.
But the suggestion box looked like it had actual questions in it and stuff too when I picked it up earlier. So that maybe someone had put as questions for the podcast, which is pretty cool. Shout out to them. So do we want to start that then?
Did we check to see if there were a bunch of questions for the podcast from last week?
No, I think we need to just start going on there, maybe during the podcast or beforehand rather.
Yeah, I think.
And
can
looking
check
at the
them.
comments just to make sure that there's nothing where somebody's engaging with us.
I can bring it up if you want to focus
Okay.
on the.
What I'd like to do eventually is do both those things at the same time until the comments is like so wild that we can't really do that. And it's only if they need to be addressed too, if it's like something somebody's actually asking or something. Because the idea was is instead of having a question for the day, just tell people, hey, tell us what you think, your thoughts about this or that or anything you heard today, and let them ask the questions instead of us. Okay. So these are kind of wild, so I'm just going to... thought that was somebody. So I'm just going to kind of set them in the middle here, and then you guys maybe just reach and grab one as you need it, maybe?
Hey, grab that with your monkey toes.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, there are no questions on the.
Or anything relevant to
podcast.
address or anything.
No, not really.
I wanted to just like get your feedback just a little bit about, you watched last week's podcast, I
Yeah.
assume? What was your thoughts on that role play about getting a cookie that Wilhelm didn't even really know was going to happen?
So I was asked, basically, or I was told, I guess, rather, that there was going to be role play, and I'm fairly certain I was told that everybody knew what was going on.
I thought that's what they told me too.
Or at
but-
least it was insinuated or something to make me believe that. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but
That's kind of where I was at on it too.
Oh,
I
I
was just
saw it.
pretty shocked to learn. I was just like,
What?
I was pretty shocked to learn that from.
so remember, if there's any specific player names, you can keep that one. But for anything else, any complaints or anything about a player, we pull those out.
Is it cutie? Because I saw that one and I didn't pull it out on purpose. Okay, hilarious.
That's fine. Yeah, that's inappropriate.
Did you see? I
Oh,
held
I
it
saw
up
it.
for a minute. It said hilarious.
Hopefully not to there.
No, yeah, I
Yes.
did. Yeah.
But,
It may be
fine.
inappropriate,
There you go.
but it was funny.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Thanks for that.
Let me grab some of these.
I wonder who
Yeah, you
wrote
can just
that
grab
one.
one. This one says, I think that we should have the players help set up in ogre our heads when they are killed in last man standing. And I agree. I didn't do that today, so I'm cool with that. Start setting it up. So for future reference, if we're gonna play,
So we could go straight from it.
yes. If we're gonna
Yes.
play, it's not in ogre our heads, is it? Nobody knows what this is called.
No, I
It
think
was-
you guys were still.
It's all ogre
deciding.
now, or right? It's all ogre now.
Yeah, I think it's all ogre now because you said it was all over now earlier today.
Yeah.
Everybody knows which game it is, even
Yeah.
if they're
The
referring
ogre
to
game.
different
True,
things.
yeah.
This is because the
I just
Bluetooth
feel
is
wet.
on here. I agree. Anyway, we didn't start setting it up as soon as when we should have.
Wow. I have like some good questions in this pile. This is kind of crazy.
So next time, yeah, we'll start setting up in ogre our heads if we're going to play it as people die for last man standing, and not waiting until last man standing is entirely over to start setting it up, so that they could basically, the heroes that win in last man standing can pretty seamlessly go over to in ogre our heads, or whatever. It's all over now.
I'm gonna put all these pile back there. There's questions on every single one of these so far. So
Anybody else got one? Anybody else want to read one, or you want to keep going?
I have one. I have one that actually pertains to that, and it says, "It's all ogre now is fun sometimes, but doing it every week takes time from other events." So, I mean, do you want to do that every week, or it's kind of wrote in hieroglyphics, but a god can read it?
Sometimes doing it every week takes time from other events. That's true, but I mean, I kind of assumed it was an event. I think if we roll into it a little faster, then I would agree with this if that's what it's saying. But if it's saying sometimes we shouldn't play It's All Ogre now, I would only agree with that if we haven't done if we've already done an initiation. If we've done a patrol, then yeah, maybe we don't need to do It's All Ogre our heads. One of the reasons why we did doing the ogre one is for more role play. It basically incentivizes role play. It allows people to play as their character against monsters, which is a lot funner sometimes than engaging against each other. So basically, the game It's All Ogre now was created and implemented to fix another problem, which was more role play. So as long as we're having the role play from patrol, I
Yeah.
think we could skip
Yeah,
it's in ogre heads or whatever.
yeah, I agree.
And it also depends on how seamless it is. If we get it pretty seamless, we may not have to skip it.
Yeah, I think if we're able to get it, more streamlined,
Mm-hmm.
I think the players may be more adapt to that. So
Is that one you read?
yeah. Well,
Oh
That-
yeah,
That was
okay.
the-
that was
You
the,
sort of
the
read.
photo.
Yeah.
I got make the hole bigger.
Nice. Here, let me see that one.
Where's the other ones at?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
where's
took
the-
one of them down.
Oh,
or some
wow.
of them down.
yeah,
You're right. I need to get them all
I
back
got
up
quite
there.
a few. You want some of these?
I'm just gonna keep going if somebody don't start talking. Had fun today.
I'll take some of them. He doesn't have any.
Oh, I love these kind that are just in general, and they're not about a specific person, but they're also kind of complaining about people. So it's kind of awesome because I can still read it. It says, "Had fun today. FYI, no one enjoys listening to people whine. Suck it up, Buttercup." So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I agree.
I like that.
Yeah, I can keep that one.
Okay. I just didn't know if that would.
Oh, I'm gonna read it. All
Okay.
right, so this one here. Now, keep in mind, we don't know who this is, so I don't know how the heck we're supposed to address this. But this says, "I am being targeted by Heston, and I'd like it to stop," with no name or anything on it. So,
Okay.
whoever this is, if you really genuinely feel like you're being targeted by a player, any player, then pull one of the marshals aside, tell us what's going on, and we'll see about addressing it. Okay?
With that, they did that,
Okay.
and it was addressed by not just a marshal, but someone in Heston's clan, and so they're going to take it to Lord Rand. Since Heston is in Black Rose, they're going to take it to Lord Rand, and they're going to discuss it with him,
Okay.
so that
That's fine.
so that
Was
it
that
will
before
be.
or after they put it in this?
I didn't know it was in there. So,
Oh, but you
um,
think you know who it was about?
Yes. So I mean, it was brought to my attention, and
So it's been
so
addressed.
yeah,
what
it's-
what do they
okay.
mean by targeted? Are they talking about in-game
Yeah,
fighting?
can you target somebody?
Yeah,
Anybody?
I
was
feel like
thinking-
if I wanted to target Arno at the beginning of every single fight,
you could
every
do that.
single time, I could do that if I wanted to.
So it started last week with a discrepancy about a hit, and so it kind of evolved from there. And so, this person did say, hey, look, if they're going to slough their hits, then I'm going to make sure that they take their hits.
Okay, well, we don't do that either.
So-
because that's
So-
going to end up with us
and
all just
That's just
hitting
gonna
each
make
other
a more
really hard.
problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of been addressed, but they want to make sure that, because, we've always said, take it to your clan leader first. So they're going to take it to him, and they're going to make sure that it's addressed through him so that it can kind of funnel down the chain.
That's fine.
So we're
As
still
long
trying
as we
to
understand that that's not technically against the rules.
right. I mean, we're
Yeah.
trying to make sure that
I feel like you probably should.
Depends what you mean by targeting.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. I mean, like, they're going after them, but I mean, it's going after them first. I mean,
That doesn't fall without the rules, like outside of the rules of
Yeah.
our game. You know what I mean? As
I
long as
mean-
he's not doing anything to break the rules, I don't really
Yeah.
see a problem here. But that's not.
Yeah.
To be fair, and I also don't know any of the situation outside of what I've heard right here. So
yeah. But I mean, again, we're trying to put it back into the players, the heroes' hands, and let the clan leaders kind of take care of it first.
fair enough.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
You got one over there?
Yes, I have a shout out to Mercer once again for great food. Would love more roleplay from people in the tavern if possible.
I agree.
all right.
Cool.
Well, good job, Mercer.
Yeah. There's a lot of compliments for Mercer in the suggestion box this week. Here's another one. It says Marshall's looked great. Great day, amazing food, and quit the bitching. Have fun. I will
agree.
say,
I like that.
With all those
without
things.
calling anybody out specific, because I don't like to do that. There was a moment today when we were playing in Ogre Our Heads, or It's All Ogre Now, whatever the name is, and somebody was standing up at the top with weapons in their hand, and they didn't have their weapons above their head or anything like that, and somebody stabbed them basically in the back, and they had like what I thought was a meltdown. They were like, "I'm dead." Well, like, how is anyone supposed to know that? Like, you're standing up there with weapons, they're not above your head. Like, it looks like you're playing,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I thought that was a little ridiculous, and I think that
The
kind of
person's reaction to it.
yeah.
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 Yeah, I can't speak for everyone, but I know if it was me, I would have just politely said, I'm dead, and then kept my weapons above my head after that.
Right.
Because the only reason they stabbed you probably is because you didn't have your weapons above your head. They didn't
Literally,
know that.
they didn't know that you were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not broadcasting that you're dead at all, like, how is anyone supposed to know?
You either need to
That's
lay
what I
on
would
the
do too.
ground
I
and
would
be
sit
dead.
there and drum on somebody if I didn't know for sure, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you wouldn't, because, well, you just can't do anything
Yes.
but die.
Wow.
Okay.
You're gonna take that?
Are you mad because I'm not doing it to you? I mean, you weren't here last week, so
I don't care what you do.
forget you. All right, I have one. It was a great day, really cold. We really need heat. More magic fire, please. And I want more food like today. Love Phlarp.
Okay.
I don't
That
want to
pulled
like
pork
be
was
mean,
really
but
good.
it wasn't that cold.
Yeah, I'm going to I will say that
It was like 50 plus. Like, grow up,
It felt
Buttercup.
good.
And I
It's
know
just
that
the
pen
wind.
color, and I know who wrote that, and I'm still saying it.
Yeah.
Grow up, Buttercup.
to be honest, I stored the heater
Oh,
for the
it's
winter
done.
anyway, and I wouldn't get it back out unless it was freezing. Like I had told myself earlier that if it freezes again or something on a day that we're playing or whatever, it's like frost this morning, then yeah, I'll bring it out. But
Just made that decision on your own, huh?
yeah, kind of.
Cool.
That once the weather stopped getting to freezing levels
I mean, I understand
on
it.
days we play.
I mean, he's
It is a
the
hassle.
CEO of
I
this
said cool.
LLC.
Everybody calm down. I agree with it.
Okay, anyways. I have one that says,
That was kind of aggressive, wasn't it?
Wow,
Sorry.
okay.
sorry.
Anyways.
Sorry.
What do you got?
Just,
All right, I
you
got
just
one.
kept going on.
no, I'm just joking. I took
Yes.
It said, it says, Arno is a cutie.
Hey, I can back
Oh.
that
I
up.
disagree with
I
that
can
one.
back that up.
I 100% disagree.
Whoever wrote that's definitely wrong.
They need.
I know.
Can
who
we
wrote
burn that one?
I know who wrote that.
Who wrote it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
can't
Did
say
you write it
names.
yourself?
No, I didn't. Yeah,
Unless
I-
he
I
tells
will-
us who
That
wrote
is
it, I
not
think it
his-
got written
I,
himself.
okay.
That is not his
I
handwriting.
would. Yeah, that is not my handwriting.
His
My handwriting's
handwriting
worse
is
than that.
Chicken scratch.
You could have done that on purpose.
Is this more like your handwriting?
No, that's way better.
Is
It's
this
more
your
like this.
handwriting?
It's more like
It's kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like
Okay.
that.
This one says, today was a blast. Congrats, Davine.
Oh, thanks.
I guess on your costume, maybe?
Yeah, I did win
Probably.
first place in the costume contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
nobody cares.
Thank you for the congratulations.
Hey, I definitely think that
Hey,
was
don't be a hater.
woohoo
Let's be honest. Those ears were awesome.
on point.
They were pretty
It
good.
was definitely the costume. It was the whole costume, the whole get up.
I mean,
You can say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, they were awesome.
at the end of the day, they're not there.
You're using spirit gum to add a cosmetic on is like a whole nother level on nobody else has gotten to yet.
Thank you.
So,
I will say it is really cool.
I will say it did hurt a little bit peeling it off. I'll have to practice with the spirit gum a little
yeah.
bit.
Was it
I
worth
also
the
have some
extra-
spirit gum remover,
Right.
but I don't know if like later do I have to like put that stuff on my ears
Yeah.
to get it off,
Probably.
or is like can I just wash it
Yeah,
off
he
in the
was in the
shower?
gas station messing with his ear. He goes, "Oh my God, it's still on there."
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
like
it's
you
like
still got some.
crusty and like hard. It does not feel good.
After everybody left, you stand over by the picnic table. Do I got white stuff on my ears? And I was like, well.
To be fair, that's not what I said. I think I said I have semen or something that looks like semen on my ears. Is what I said.
That's it's exactly.
I was trying to keep it PG. Okay?
At this point, why?
Yeah.
I mean, you were already in the like halfway through the story. I mean, you might as well.
Yeah. We're done.
So you got another one over there?
I have two. I just didn't want to butt in front of everybody.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You're gonna have to if
Jeez.
you want to get a word in.
Especially with
True.
this guy.
Anyway, I
It
got this
says-
story.
Brandon,
Wow.
Okay,
You
it
earned that one.
says fun day, show me the mistletoe.
Oh, and it's signed Trinity.
Yeah.
Show me the
I didn't know if I
mistletoe.
was supposed to read the name.
If he signed it, you
Does he
read
want
it.
to see my
Oh,
feet?
No.
please
Show me the
don't.
mistletoe.
Please don't.
I'm pretty sure that this is a joke because that's how you're supposed to kill Eric the Red, the god. The god.
Oh, dude.
Way to be you.
Oh, I was like, what are you pointing at?
Just
Do
a
you
buddy
want me
hanging
to
out.
read this, or does someone else want to?
No, go ahead. You
Yeah,
go
keep reading.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
It says consider making spring, summer, and fall event days last till 6 o'clock or longer.
I'm glad they brought that up because outside when I was outside earlier, I noticed that it was getting darker for longer, and also like they're saying there, the time will change, or I guess that's kind of what they're saying.
I also heard they were taking away, somewhat recently, I heard that they were going to be taking away daylight savings.
The fallback, so it would stay as the extended version, like
Mm-hmm.
where the days would get shorter, but they wouldn't be quite as short as
Right.
what they are now, because without the time.
Haven't they been saying that for like years?
Yeah, but I think this is the year that it's supposed to like take place.
But either way, if it was lighter longer, we would play longer. Like I intend on essentially extending the timeout. Given that my marshals will allow me to or whatever, because I kind of need them. I can't do it by myself. But whenever the warmer weather gets here, I basically plan on leaving until everybody's ready to leave or dark, whichever comes first. So if it's 5 o'clock and people are ready to leave, then we'll leave at 5. But if people are still playing and I'm cool to go all the way until dark on summer days, which would allow us to play till 8 or whatever. So
I think that'd be awesome. I think that's a great suggestion.
be able to get more games in and stuff. So
Cool.
but like I said, it's kind of pending on what everybody's wants to do. I'm not gonna make people. I'm not gonna keep it open beyond that if I don't have people that will support me because I can't run it all by myself, basically. But
It's about time we acknowledge that.
I mean, we're not going to make anybody do anything.
no, I'm
They
gonna
don't
make
wanna
you guys.
stay.
I'm gonna be like, you got to stay.
Yeah, you're forced to stay until
I'll
9.
double your pay.
Okay.
Which is nothing.
What pay?
All right, I have be warned, for one among you has been stealing the town gold.
Actually, I got some of the town gold stolen today. They got it back though. I did get it back. So
Well, that's probably what that suggestion was about.
I did steal 2 pieces.
I mean,
I was
looted
keeping these in a pile because there's like questions that all of us will need to answer on it. So I was hoping to get through the rest of the suggestions prior to going through this particular stack right here.
including that. Oh, that's the questions. Okay.
Okay,
I think so.
You're right. It's a question.
This is a suggestion, some sort of event XP for if someone chooses to take or give Squire tests during an event.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
There are still many who have yet to finish the trials.
Okay.
So I think what they're trying to get at,
No one wants to sit and do a squire test and miss an event.
miss an event because like you guys have alluded to, that Battle for the Crown's coming up, and if you haven't passed the squire test, you can't play.
I
in
mean,
it.
that is fair. However, I will tell you that we were done with our last event today at like 4:25, and we don't end until 5. So there was at least 35 minutes at the end of the day someone could have done it.
And I went and did kaput, the useful
right.
Kaput.
squire test at the end of the day. I did like 4 or 5 of his sections.
And
go ahead.
it's not like we play one after another, and there's breaks in between.
Yeah.
Like, you have enough time.
Yeah, what I was
do
thinking
it.
is, why did they want to miss an event to do their squire test? Like, when they could do it in between events. Or I've even told people if they want to show up early, whenever I am there early, I'm fine with doing it then too after I get everything set up.
I'd almost prefer it. I'd almost prefer to do it early.
And the reason I wouldn't give them XP is because they'll use that as a way to just get the XP and not really care if the people are passing the test. They almost need to be doing it out of the niceness of their position or whatever. Like, they need to be doing it because they just want to do it. Because if I make it to where it's XP based, people will do it just to get the XP, and then they no longer really care if the person is trying to
Learn everything.
Yeah.
retain the information.
No, I definitely agree,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that question could be swapped towards like the other way with the person that's giving the squire test out to that person, them not wanting to mess the XP, but that's their choice of wanting to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Although I guess now that I'm thinking about it, if you do the squire test while you're not playing an event, you would miss out on some XP. I guess you could get both, but you also get XP for finishing the squire test too. So maybe they're just thinking I could just finish this and get XP, but you could get both and do all of it anyway. And plus, there are like 13 people that do that, or 14, maybe like 15 now. There's 4 marshals, me, and if you count me, okay, don't count me because I don't do anything. 3 marshals and me.
Shade.
At
So
himself. Before anybody else could throw it.
But yeah, there are people that can
and then the
help
top of
with
each
this.
class, so that's 9 different people plus the 4. So
Actually, yeah, there's plenty of people to do it.
To be fair, somebody did walk up to me today and ask me to help them with it, and I called Argus
Someone else
over.
over.
I called Argus over. I was like, "You need to deal with this," and he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I said so." To be fair, he did. He did.
So like, okay.
I mean, like, he is one of those people that's supposed to do some of them, though. So I was just like, "You can do it, so for others too. Like, I trust you in order to do this." So
yeah.
to be fair, I was kind of busy at the time. It's not like I just didn't want to do anything. So
I think like altogether today we were
Oh.
the marshals were really like just trying to get things set up, trying to get everybody, aligned so that we could get everything done. But I mean, somebody being late
Okay, I'm sorry.
kind of
I'm
put us
gonna
on our
s-
heels.
I'm going to stop you. There's a spider on your headset. I wouldn't want it in my head. So, I mean, I'm just telling you right now.
All right, go on.
Oh my. No, okay. Never
Cool.
mind.
Pretty savage.
You okay
just
over
get
there,
some
Skylar?
XP
Just
for that.
telling you.
I will say
Yes.
I have not seen that done before. I have not seen somebody just.
I know.
It's,
Mine's the same
it's extra
spider.
protein.
I mean, like I get that, but like just to I mean, no hesitation. Just, I mean, it's tiny spider. I get it. Like I mean,
Oh, so we're gonna talk about this stuff like that, like weird stuff that we put. No, I got a story to tell about Arno. Let's tell this story real quick.
okay.
All right.
I thought we were supposed to be getting through these questions.
I'm generally
We
curious
will
about
eventually.
this.
All right. So for a while, I was living with another player that we used to have. His name was Rob, and we had this onion that was at the house that had like grown another onion. Okay, and that had grown into like a big sized onion. It was the weirdest thing, and so we kept it like as a souvenir because we're like, this is crazy, you know. And it was there for like a while, old. Arno comes over, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And we're like, "That's an onion." He's like, "Can I eat it?" Like
Yeah, go ahead.
like you're like, you just want to eat the onion like an apple? And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So he grabs the onion and just starts eating it like an apple. It was the most savage, disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Like and his eyes aren't
Just like
freaking
Shrek.
watering or nothing. He's just eating an onion. I was like,
Wow.
this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I
Wow.
just want to point out this one thing. If he gets onions in his food now, he picks every individual one out.
Wow. So you
So
ate
I
a
think
raw
that's
onion.
why-
Yeah, it's weird. I'm big picky on onions now.
I think that's why.
Since then,
No, not
Yeah.
even since then.
No,
I
it
don't-
ruined him. I bet it changed his genetic makeup. It
I
was
don't-
so weird.
I ate half that onion though.
why?
I don't know. I don't remember.
To be fair, probably because we told him he wouldn't do it.
Are you high?
No, I don't think
No.
no.
No, this was
I think
this
they just
was
told
like
me to
before
do
that.
it, and I was like, okay.
I don't think we told him to do it. I think we told him he wouldn't do it. To be fair,
Oh man, I forgot.
And then he
about that.
said, "That sounds like a challenge."
literally.
Challenge accepted.
yeah.
He's like, you don't think I will?
I'd be like, what's the worst that could happen? My eyes start watering or something?
I can never cut an onion without crying.
Well, you got to use the wet paper towel trick. Do you know of this? So if you put like a wet paper towel, like by an onion, like when you're cutting it up, that basically it soaks in all that
All the
stuff.
fumes and
Yeah,
stuff.
and your eyes don't water.
Huh.
True story.
Okay, I'll try that. If it doesn't work,
Blame the internet.
Scientific.
coming after you.
So we got another question. You guys have any more over
Knives
here?
out.
No, I don't have any.
All right, so we're all good for just the questions. then.
Questions.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to go?
Yeah, those.
Sure.
Those.
All right, so we got. What are everyone's favorite weapons you've seen over the years?
Oh, that's a really good question. Like just like coolest looking weapon.
I, mean, I think you can interpret that however you want.
Okay, I mean like I would say probably the coolest weapon that I like thought was the coolest was back whenever we were on the property, and it was I believe it was some kind of fire axe. I think it's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I think it is in here somewhere.
But it was like some kind of fire axe. But I always
It's in the back over there.
loved,
Oh,
always
okay.
loved the design
yeah,
of
up
it.
there. You can
so-
see it. You can see it up there.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
Of course, no one
Yeah.
here can see
You
it.
guys
but
see it up
you
there?
guys-
Isn't that cool?
Just go ahead and look behind you guys and go ahead and look at that.
Yeah, if you can get it out of there, you can show it.
just speak.
You want to eat a spider if I find it?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I find funny about that?
I'm hoping
He just
that-
ate that spider, but I also remember him having a mini heart attack the last time we saw a spider. Granted, it was much bigger.
That thing was like this big, and I'm like,
Thank you, Skylar.
I'm hoping that if I eat that spider, I'll turn into Spider-Man and be like,
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah, maybe.
how about that for web?
As far as coolest weapons, I'll say this. I can only really speak from my own experience, which I know is something that North does a lot. But when I first started coming out, I was making these shields, and I didn't know what I was doing. So the very first shield that I ever really made, like big shield, I made out of plywood, and I cut out like large sections of it to basically make like a skeleton frame. It was still so heavy. It was really heavy. I'd be like done with an event, and I'm like ready to have that thing off my arm. And
Throws it down.
so the first shield that I made correctly, like out of foam and cardboard and whatever, it was like night and day difference on my fighting ability because I could move my arm. Whereas when I had the plywood shield, I could just kind of move 3 inches at a time because it was so heavy. So for me, it was just basically learning how to make LARP weapons properly as opposed to making them actually effective or whatever. So it's not so much about how cool they are as it just was learning how to make the weapons properly.
All right.
Anyone else?
Nope.
I have a cool one I made once, and it was really hard to make, but I never used it. It was functional. It's right over there, but it was crazy hard to make because I used yarn on the outside of the foam. It was a big fun noodle, and then I used yarn and I used hemostats to grab the yarn and poke it in and make patterns. I made lightning and roses on it. I'll get it and show it.
Oh.
It's
I'm
like
actually
all the way down
kind of
there.
curious on that. I have not seen that. I don't think.
I've never used it, but it's cool.
Now we can see one of
There's a lot of work, I know
North's
that.
shields.
That was one of the first.
Yeah,
That's an old- that's an old one.
That I
Yeah.
ever made.
Now that he's off
Because
his
Rangers could still
throne
even wield the shield.
of deceit.
You can go ahead and go though. Somebody else can go on. whatever
Eventually, they were kind of turned into bucklers. Rangers weren't allowed to use full size shields like
Right.
Oh,
other
yeah, that's true.
classes.
Wait,
Yeah.
I do have a question about shields.
Yeah, what do you got?
Do they have to be like a?
So like it's aged and stuff. So but
That's fine.
See
She
that?
wasn't asking a question.
Yeah.
roses and then like lightning up here. You see that?
You can ask
go
us
ahead.
though, Skylar,
Sorry.
please.
Does it matter how hard the shield is?
Not really.
Okay.
No, because the reality of the situation is you're not supposed to hit anyone with
Yeah,
a
you're
shield.
just
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I just didn't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, there will be, sometimes where there's an accident or, and we expect that. We expect accidents to happen.
What's going on right now? Is this show and
I
tell?
was gonna show some of these other ones too. Like this is a pretty cool sword. It's like the master sword.
He's neat. He's neat. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm showing everybody these cool swords.
Okay,
These
I
aren't
would
that
just
cool.
take all of those and just.
Awesome day. Can't wait until next week.
Yeah, agreed.
There's some Daedric
Whose
swords.
character would you like to see return to the park? Old property to now.
A specific character I'd like to see come back.
West.
Caden Atwood.
Ooh. Oh, Caden Atwood was a good one. I'm thinking.
I mean, I've never been to the old property, so I can't give insight to this. So
Character or like player? No,
It says
it
character.
just says character.
So it could be a player that is
Yeah.
not there. I guess.
I'm trying to think
I
of
mean,
one.
Yeah, you have to have a player to have a character.
All right, I think my answer is going to be Bastion. I would like to see Bastion back out here. I don't know if you remember him or not, but he was played by Korber.
Oh yeah.
I would like to see that character back out. I had a good time with him.
I don't think he'll probably ever come back out, but I would like to see. Like I don't know if he'll end up seeing this, but basically who you said earlier, Rob. Like I
Yeah.
think it'd be really cool if Rob would just come back out and try.
I would
just to,
love
just
that.
to play.
Yeah, I would
even
love
if he
that.
didn't keep playing.
Right.
It would be neat to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time, so. And he's a player that, although I butted heads with a lot, I also like to get alternative views, so I kind of appreciated sometimes what would be a really alternative view from him, so.
Was never biased.
Oh no, his answers were biased sometimes.
Yeah.
I think and no, to be fair, so are mine sometimes. Like sometimes I have to take a step back and go, okay, am I saying this because I think this is for the betterment of the game or the betterment of me?
Mm-hmm.
And I've changed my answers sometimes when I've done that. I've been like, no, I think I'm aggravated with this particular ruling because it goes against something that I do. And I've had to go, maybe he is right. And then like took time to think about whatever was being said and ultimately decided that I was wrong. That happens occasionally. I've also heard things where something was like not good for me, but I didn't think that it was like I wasn't aggravated because it wasn't good for me. I was aggravated because I didn't think it was for the betterment of the game. That's happened too.
I think when Shields, when
That
I first
makes
took
sense.
Shields
I
away,
was
you were
pissed.
talking about how it was not cool. Yeah, and then after we talked about it, you were like, well, that kind of makes sense. So.
Oh, you're talking about specifically for the warrior, the champion warrior.
Yeah.
Right, and I won't get into it like it got into last week, but there was a time when they talked about really reducing the size of shields altogether, like to pretty small, and I was fairly aggravated because I was like, that's kind of crap, because I think people should be able to make shields essentially that like are the correct size for them. Like I don't feel like Rand should have to use that shield with his body type because that's not going to cover anything.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Like that shield with you is a lot more effective than that shield with Rand, and I just didn't feel like that was fair to be make a blanket statement that says all shields have to be this small, whenever you have some people that are much larger than other people.
No, most definitely.
I also feel like if you have like an obnoxious size shield, that there are negatives to that as well, especially now that all the like a lot of abilities go through shields.
And I feel like that's what evens it out, with the whole not having the thing on the shields. That's pretty good.
I don't know who uses it. I forgot his name, but the big shield, the black and red
But
one.
the tower one.
Do you guys
He's
think
talking about
that's too
Arid and
big?
Empora.
Yeah, Aerodyn.
I don't.
Okay.
So it's less round than like we'll say Rands or Piuses, which helps. And I do think that it's taller than any other shield we have out there,
That's true.
but it's certainly not as wide. And I don't know that it gives him too much of an advantage. And if it does, then as long as it fits within the rule requirements, I don't have an issue with it at all.
And also, like they were saying, it becomes a disadvantage as soon as people start getting abilities, because a lot of the abilities will literally go through shields. So, like, if your shield is the target that they're aiming at.
And some of those abilities go through the shield and hit your arm.
Yeah.
So, like,
and
it
take out
becomes
your
like a
shield
super negative.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's like a liability to have a bigger shield.
Mm-hmm.
And also, speaking of this, the other day we were talking for just everybody to help to visualize what 12.5 feet around is, because right now our rule is it's 12.5 feet a perimeter. And so I got a piece of rope and I was trying to like measure this out. And when I got it done, it was like huge. And I was like, man, I don't remember it being this big. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I took the leaves out of my dining room table, pushed the whole thing together, flipped it upside down, and like that was how big around it is. So you take like a 4 foot across dining room table circle. That's how big our rule is. So our rule isn't even really, nobody's going to make a shield that big basically. But it keeps people from making an entire shield that you can just sit on the ground and stand behind and be independent of the shield. Although if somebody tried to do that, I'd just like call them out on it anyway. But
To be fair, we have had that out at LARP.
somebody trying to
We
step
literally
away
had
from the
like
shield.
a movable shield
Mhm.
wall thing. I don't know if you remember that.
I vaguely remember that.
But they also were like super susceptible to all kinds of stuff, so I wasn't worried about it. I never cared.
Mm.
A couple weeks ago, somebody got buried by a bunch of shields.
Yeah?
Who was that? Oh, yeah.
I think it was me.
He came out of that. He's like, it's hot in there. Just threw them all off.
I have one. It's Argus, Kaput, and Lord Sir Ednic are the toughest clan. When making a clan and you have 3 slots, what classes would you prefer to have in said clan?
Like class-wise?
Yes.
I like this
would you
question.
Like to reread
and
it?
I like this question because it's
I think
super
it's a good
objective.
question.
It's objective because 4 people may have 4 different answers. And I like that.
If you could only work with 3,
Yeah, you get three classes. Which 3 are you taking?
I'm going to be biased because this is kind of what my clan was before, but I would try to have 2 archers and a rogue.
Interesting.
I would have to say.
I can tell you, well, here, let me
No,
explain
yeah,
just a
go
little
ahead.
bit.
Yeah, go ahead and explain that a little bit.
And for the reason why is because the rogues would be the rogue would be entirely distraction. Like they wouldn't even be trying to engage anyone, only close enough to think they were going to engage them so that the archers could shoot them. And I wouldn't care about healing or anything right now. If I had one more person, I might try to get a healer in there, but I'd probably just add another archer. Like my ideal clan is 4 archers, or however many archers you can get, and 1 rogue. And that's it. Not even
Fair
like
enough.
healers, really.
What about you?
My 3 would probably definitely have to be a warrior, a rogue, and a cleric.
That's my exact 3 as well. But I would have a champion warrior though, as opposed to a defender warrior.
Mm.
A holy cleric,
Champion warrior and a...
holy cleric, and a rogue.
Who are you in that scenario?
The cleric.
What about you?
Oh, I would definitely be the rogue.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some strategy behind that, just because that's a good balance, or what?
I mean,
What's the reasoning?
So
I'll let
I can
you-
give mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I want a shield, right? And I want healing. So that's where the cleric comes in. It's
Okay.
mostly for the shield, and they also have some pretty cool abilities once they start to get some levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of
I have it on
self-explanatory.
silent. I don't know why.
As far as the champion warrior, they have like most of the blow up abilities as far as like taking on like other shield users, and like I like the idea of somebody with like a lengthy weapon, like a pole arm of some kind to like blow
to
up,
help get
help
around.
annihilate and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it just makes the fight a little bit easier when the people get closer. And then I feel like a rogue's pretty self-explanatory. I feel like a high-level rogue is really tough to deal with. Really tough,
Yeah,
especially
you
when
can
you
almost send
need
them on their own.
Oh
and be
yeah,
like,
there has
you
to be
know,
like
we'll
very
be here, but-
specific abilities in order to deal with a rogue that most people don't want to take.
Mhm.
Which is also part of the reason that I like the idea of having a holy cleric, because they have the abilities that I need in order to deal with other people's rogues. So
Makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, rogues, especially at higher levels, can be difficult to counter, as opposed to other. There can be certain moves they have that are almost impossible to counter unless you have a counter ability, essentially.
there was. I mean, I know who it was. We had a guest. I don't know, call it a month ago, that was on the podcast here talking about how they thought rogues were pretty poor. In my personal opinion, and of course it's my opinion, but in my personal opinion, at high levels, Rogue might be the best class. That's the class that I really wouldn't want to mess with one-on-one out in the woods, because I can go into hide. They can
Even if you get them back out of hide, they can vanish.
Yeah,
they have
they're right back at it.
it's crazy, and they can do things to me that I have no answer for, not by myself.
And really, a more high powerful rogue, like there's an ability at really high levels with a rogue called Shadow Copy. And if you had a good, like, partner to do that with, like if you had somebody that could play the rogue correctly that you were doing and shadowing your every move where they did not miss a move, because basically it makes it to where you can summon in another person and they can do everything you just did. So whatever the last ability you did, they can do it.
So could you imagine?
But if
if
you
got-
use a second one,
you got hide, hamstring, hide, like over and over and over. You're basically talking about using double moves on
right,
everyone.
it-
It's insanity.
as long as you
So
don't
that- so
say
that-
another one before they say the one that you did last,
And
like
then
that
they would
resets
have-
theirs. But
Oh,
Yeah, but if they
wow.
knew what they were doing,
yeah,
it could be
they
if they, were,
stupid.
if they
it could
really
be-
knew what they were
yeah.
doing, it'd be crazy.
I
No, I think that
genuinely
could be
think.
played
Listen,
really well.
I think a high level rogue literally could take out an entire clan by themselves without issues.
No, I definitely agree. I've always loved the rogue
I just don't
abilities.
have. I unfortunately don't have the speed to play rogue, because of my athleticism. I'm pretty limited on what I have to do, and I can't play without a shield. I just can't. I tried it before. I wasn't very good at it.
Especially a clan that didn't have a whole lot. Even if they did have abilities, it'd be difficult. But especially a clan that didn't have very many high level abilities, you could totally wipe
for
out.
sure.
Oh, you straight decimate.
Because you can sap them too, and that makes them. It's just like a really long stun where they can't attack, but you can't attack them. I think is
Yeah.
how sap works. So you could take two of them out right off the bat, and then I guess you'd have to vanish to get back in.
Basically, render them from fighting.
Yeah, but then you could vanish almost immediately right afterward, and then backstab one of the other ones that are just like standing there.
And you know the cool thing about Rogue 2 is it's great on its own. Like I feel like it can stand alone. It's really good. Whatever. Rogue in combination with other classes is dumb. I mean, like because they have an ability called like what is it 5 heart whatever.
Five-fingered-
5-point palm.
Yeah, that's
exploding
it.
heart
whatever.
technique.
Yeah,
It's
that
from
thing.
Kill Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they literally can't move. Well, if you're playing in combination with a warrior and somebody war cries or taunts that person and they have to step, they just
Kaboosh.
automatically die.
Yeah, you've talked to me about this.
This like combinations like that I think is what make Phlarp really unique. But from my experience so far, looking through all the abilities, I feel like Rogue has more of those cool abilities that in combination with other classes than any other class, in my personal opinion. And so people hating on Rogue is like mind-boggling to me, because I wish I could play that class.
I think it's people who aren't playing rogue.
that complain about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, also like in like the idea that you could literally strap 100 thrown weapons to your
Oh,
body if
you
you
can-
wanted to just
you can have 'em.
constantly launch these.
If you
things.
get Phantom Knives, you can strap them to your arms too.
I mean,
you can ignore any other like rules about how many you can have or whatever.
Or you can be strapped head to toe with them if you really wanted to.
That's
Either
crazy.
way, for me, that would be so. To
kinda
answer that
wild, but-
question, that we
Kind of wild.
we really kind of got out of control with is that would be my 3 is champion, warrior, cleric, holy cleric.
What
and
about you?
rogue.
If you had to,
I would
pick a
just
clan and
have me.
because that would be
Fucking
enough. All right.
I'm a fucking
moving
god of
on.
my own clan, all right. So I mean, I don't care what y'all think. Y'all can hate all you want. Haters gonna hate. I'm me. I'm a god. Boom. Done. That's it. Enough said. What you got?
I've never actually saw you play.
I don't think I've seen
I
you fight.
can't.
He killed me today twice.
Well, besides that.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, there wasn't much fighting, but
I wasn't trying to.
there was no fight. There was no fight
So
coming
there
from
was-
this one. I mean,
there was just one and then one dead.
All right, let's get through these last couple here.
but no, because of injuries and medical, I can't.
Actually, I want to interrupt everyone. Before we get to the end here, we should do the code word now. Just throw it in.
Throw it in.
So who's got a code word?
Cowabunga, dude.
I'm fine with that. Cowabunga dude, is that our code word?
I'm with that.
Sure.
Cowabunga dude.
Cowabunga, dude.
All right, cool.
All right.
So anyway, what you got?
I have 2 questions on here. What do you think could be the most universal dual class combo?
Most universal dual class. Well, I would say
Like
this.
two
It
classes.
it almost would have to be something with a shield that doesn't normally have a shield. So I like the idea of maybe like a rogue warrior.
Yeah, I was just thinking rogue.
Oh
something.
my
Could you imagine having a bunch of thrown weapons all over your body
With the
behind
shield?
a shield?
Done. Goodbye.
No. Why did we
Shield,
just
shield wall.
That would be pretty cool. Or maybe even like a wizard warrior, something where you could throw packets behind
Oh,
a
that'd be
shield.
wild.
Something like that, I think, would be the most universal. I think.
Anything that would combo like a shield
Yeah,
with
I
something
never
that doesn't
really-
normally get
I
a
never
shield.
really thought of that. If you've been like a rogue using a shield and still having it, that would be super OP.
The only problem
could
is
just
that
throw
you
their
could only
throne.
get 10 levels in each class.
Yeah, so it would hinder your levels.
Mhm.
Right. Which is why I've never done it. I've never done the dual class thing because it's like, no, I want the level 20 ability.
He said that level 20 abilities.
Ranger
nice.
warrior.
Some of those abilities are good, man. Being able to ground pound, just like running in and literally you could take out an
Oh,
entire
I
claim.
remember ground pound. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so do all the people that used it against.
Yeah, numerous people. You want to do that second question?
Yeah. What is the most intimidating class to fight against?
Rogue.
Yeah, hands down rogue.
For me, it's rogue.
Me.
What
I
the-
actually-
Yourself, like you.
Myself.
So okay. Like your own evil shadow copy is the most intimidating thing you could fight.
It is. Yeah, hard it is to like fight yourself.
I feel like we should just move on. What do you got?
I
over
gave
there?
myself a concussion. I mean, come on now.
Really, it's Rogue 2. I was just thinking. I think mine is Rogue 2 just because of the way their
They can-
abilities are
they
so
can
weird.
change the playing field so quickly.
I mean, it also matters like at what level are we talking
That's
about?
true.
Like at high level, for me, it's either rogue or wizard.
Or
like,
wizard,
yeah,
yeah.
one of
yeah.
those is going to
At
be
one
tough.
point, wizard becomes pretty scary
Yeah.
too because they have like a bunch of crazy stuff they can't really.
At low level, I mean, obviously the very large guys with shields are a problem because it's all basically combat, all of it. But as soon as like we have abilities that can go through those shields, those guys are going to struggle.
I struggle to fight spears too if they know what they're doing very well.
Yeah,
if
I
they
do
don't know
too.
what they're doing, I'm fine.
But to be fair, that's because you don't have a shield.
Hmm.
Granted, most spear,
Yeah, I always fight
most
with,
spear
like, dual
users now
wielders.
though are going to be champion warriors, and they're going to be difficult to deal with even for shield users at some point. So
Oh, they're difficult to deal with.
Yeah, at second
regardless.
level they're going to start having hand armor, and then their spear is even crazier
yeah,
because you have to get way up on their.
It's hard to get past that spear
arms or-
sometimes, yeah.
you got to basically be faster than them, which is a problem for some of us big boys like me. You basically have to like attack them and get your shield like inside.
Past
and
their
it's
damaging
tough. It's
part
difficult,
of their
especially if they're
spear.
faster than you. It's just really tough.
Or if they really know what they're doing too. People that will draw the spear back to reposition it fast are scarier than the ones who will just kind of try to figure out how to get around you.
Trinity does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he is crazy with that spear.
Which is probably why I wield it. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. True. If I was able to, I would.
What else you got?
Oh, this is the one you read, right?
I don't know. Let me see it.
Or is that this another one asking the same question?
It might be.
To play as? Maybe I read that wrong. Most intimidating to play as. I read it wrong, didn't I?
Yeah.
Here, let me read it. Says, really glad there wasn't much bitching. What class is most intimidating for you to play as? So which one would you not
So
play?
again, I think this is an objective question. I just said I don't
Sure.
feel like I'm capable of playing rogue because I'm not fast enough to play it. I don't feel like I have the body to play it. I don't want to do that much running. So for me, it's probably rogue.
I think it just depends on what fits your play style.
I wouldn't want to play a wizard, not at least in low levels.
Yeah.
That low level wizard grind is rough.
Though I will say that we have a wizard out there that has been pretty
That is
successful doing
grinding.
it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So shout out to Heston Iverson. He's done well.
I think that it might be pretty hard for some of the rangers because we have a couple rangers, and I think it's kind of hard for them. But again, whenever they have like tree climb, rangers get tree climb, right? Okay, yeah. So when they have tree climb, and then
I think they both get that at first level. Or
and,
can.
yeah, and it's like, everybody else is taking everybody else out, and then all of a sudden, like that
Turn it
one
down to
week,
the
it was
two,
all like
yeah.
there was nobody to take them out.
To be fair
So-
though, warriors get taunt at level 1, and you can taunt someone out of
Yeah.
a tree and tree climb.
And that could be
Or
In-
thrones.
incentive. Yeah, that too.
Or
Incentive
another
that-
ranger.
Incentive to get taunt or whatever. Like a lot of people don't have taunt because it just does this. Well, it also now gets a ranger out of a tree. So,
Yep.
Rangers, not when they're not tree climbed, are my least I'm least intimidated by rangers because once they shoot that first arrow, if I can close the gap, they're
Yeah.
dead. I'm
Yeah.
gonna chase them and hopefully mess them up from being able to reload enough or jump their second shot or whatever. If they're really good, they can get a second shot off on me, but hopefully I can just like jump that or dodge it, which doesn't always work. But
Ooh, fun fact too. We used to have little archery tournaments. You know?
Oh, I remembered that.
Yeah, and there was this guy named Tyrus. He would always win them. Always. North, couldn't beat him.
I would say that man was an archer.
even the barbarians couldn't beat him, I think.
That's true.
So when you guys had your archer contest, like what was?
It was like horse.
It was
I
like
think
horse
yeah.
with bow and arrow shots. He would be like, I'm going to shoot that tin can from
Okay.
from
And if I
35
hit it,
yards
if I-
If I'm
away.
standing right here, I'm gonna hit it.
So we,
Mhm.
in another group, we had one, and it was somebody held a cigarette. It was not lit, but held a cigarette in their hand, and they were facing away from the shooter. But if the shooter could knock the cigarette out of his hand by actually hitting the cigarette or like the base,
Right.
they would get like 15 points.
Nice.
And if you were able to shoot like their back, it was like 5, whatever.
Hmm.
And I was actually able to do it twice.
Nice.
I
the
lost,
cigarette?
but because somebody
You
actually,
about hitting the cigarette? Oh heck yeah, that's awesome.
you got 3 shots, and somebody actually hit it 3 times. But
That's crazy.
I mean,
With
I was
3
able
shots,
to.
I may hit it once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not even. I wouldn't even hit it.
Like
I
the
wouldn't even think
first,
about
it was
hitting
the first shot that I hit it, and I was like, I doubt I can do this again, but I'm gonna try. But luckily, on my last shot, I did. So
To be fair, we weren't that good. We were like, I'm going to hit that 10 from 20
Yeah, they
yards
were
away.
just and we sat there for like 40 minutes doing that. It was so fun.
the wind is coming from the east, so
We're also using PVC bows.
Right.
I mean, but still,
yeah.
that was a good time.
And if anybody has any answers to those questions themselves, please let us know down in the comments. We'll go over them next week if we can. So.
Yeah, we can start doing that. I can check the comments like during the podcast. It's very easy to bring up. So.
Was there anybody that leveled or anything like that that you know of? We might not have been on it on
think-
that.
I think I did put that in here. I'll double check. While I'm double checking, I had a question. I was in the store last week, and like the horse where you have the stick and you got to be like,
Yeah.
why don't I have a jousting competition with that?
I mean,
Do I need to explain to him about
Yes.
our jousting tournament that we had at Capoot's birthday party that one year
yeah,
with
I
the
guess.
shopping carts? Do you remember this?
No, I remember
Oh no, that would be awesome.
that. I vaguely remember that actually.
So we went over.
I do remember his birthday. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
So we went over. We had like Kaput had like a big birthday party basically, and he had like all the Phlarpers come over. And I don't know how it happened, but they had some shopping carts over there, and more or less people ended up in the shopping carts, and they were being pushed at each other very quickly with Larp weapons. And I will never forget any. I never got in that damn cart, but I was pushing them and laughing.
I would have just pushed it real hard and just like,
That's what we were doing.
oh.
Did the person in the cart go tally ho?
I don't remember, but I remember they were doing it over and over and over. Like we were having a good time doing it.
Were they knocking each
anybody
other
get
out of the
hurt?
cart?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Really?
Really?
Just crashing into each other?
Sometimes those carts would hit like head on, and
Like you'd see both of them just
oh yeah, they were crashing. But we were young and dumb, and they would
I
just
feel like we would still
over
do that.
and
I feel like-
over and over.
Oh no.
So I do have Lord Rand Rainwalker leveled. He's at level 3 now.
Oh,
Good
cool.
for him.
So that's
and
like 4 or 5 at level 3 now? Maybe.
4. Yeah, I think 4.
Am I level 3? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's why I asked you earlier what your level 3 ability was.
What'd I say?
Recession.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I feel like you said recession.
you said something, and I was all like, "Why don't you have recession?" You're like,
Well, I basically explained to him that there would be like 3 people that know what recession is, and everyone else.
Yeah,
would just
everybody
be
would
like,
be
"Why is
looking
everyone-"
around going like, because that's exactly what happened today when Sir Ednick said recession. And everybody was like looking around. There was only like a couple of us that were like, yeah.
as soon as I had said that, Sir Ednick goes, recession. I'm like, oh, crap! Did I just?
I will say something
just
that was
jogged
some
kind of
memories.
funny. I told Sir Ednick today, at near the very end of the day, that he was exiled, and he was standing next to Argus, who is in his clan.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think I've seen that too.
And immediately, Argus went, "Stab!"
Wasn't that right before Minion?
Yeah, he walked out. I was watching that, and he walked out. I said, "Isn't he your lord?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Then why'd you do that?" He goes, "I don't know."
I mean, to be fair, he won't remember it. So
Oh no.
But we do
I
have
love the no hesitation.
we do have Wilhelm is still at the top of the list,
Good for
so
him.
he surpassed Argus.
Hey.
So he
Yeah, and he was
is our
bragging about
highest
that.
Level
He was
XP.
bragging about that in the
He should.
the chat.
he should be, because Argus
He's a
just.
wizard.
Oh, and I also have to say this too, because Argus is convinced that we just roast him in every single podcast that we do. I feel like I need to do that today. Well, that's gone.
Wow.
Anyway, so just a random Argus roast.
Sorry, the
you know?
video cut out.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Don't worry, guys.
He has weird hair or something. I don't know.
That's what you wanted to mention? Just
Just-
something, just to
Just
see.
something. I'm just gonna kind of roast a little bit. You know, I think we should all add to the roast
Yeah,
personally.
I think he's got weird looking gloves.
Yeah, his gloves are weird.
That hat that he wears.
Oh, the hat is cringy.
Mm-hmm.
bro.
It used to have little buttons on it that I didn't understand.
Now he's got the little
The little weird.
little hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got?
Did you get that for him?
No.
The-
Rachel did, though.
Okay, well then.
By extension.
By extension, yes.
I think he definitely tries too hard to look cool.
What
How's
about
that?
you? You gotta have.
He's
you
a
gotta,
try hard.
You gotta get
You
on.
want to
on
add to
this.
the roast?
You gotta get on.
We're
on.
roasting Argus because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
It's fine. I got called a schmuck last week, and I do listen to the podcast.
Specifically, remember.
He got called a schmuck and a schmolly and
And lazy.
lazy.
They really went to town on you last
We
podcast.
did.
I'm going to have to watch
We
that
went
to catch up,
hardcore on him.
just so I know what I'll have.
I'll tell you this. I watched the podcast, and like every 4 minutes, I was like, insult again? Again?
And now
He's
our
sitting there
viewers
like-
can't
He's
see
like,
it.
do I even
so,
want to come back?
it was still good. We had fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
I bet you guys did have fun. It's okay. We'll get some roast going here soon.
It was
So
such
anyway,
a blast.
we got anything else? I know we're kind of pushing time here, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
way
over. So, no, I just wanted to make sure to mention the question thing. You know, if you guys have any questions or comments, those who can't see me no more, let us know down in the comments. And I guess like and subscribe. Don't forget. I was trying to think of what else I wanted to
yes.
say. There were some other things I wanted to say,
Please
but
like and subscribe.
couldn't remember to say during the last part. I think that was
That's
just
probably a
like,
lie.
Like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean,
it's probably a lie.
I definitely want to shout out Lord Sir Ednick for being sworn in as a lord. But my question to you, sir, when are you going to make a clan, or are you ever going to, or are you just going to stick your?
That is going to be stuck in the shadows forever. Ain't nobody going to know.
So you're just going to like leave your tail hanging out in the wind all day?
No, I'm going to keep everybody else in the wind, I think.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like it would be nice to like be recruited all the time. Like you don't have a clan and like just, you know, everybody wants you in their clan. They're all
But
recruiting.
nobody recruits him. That's
Well,
the problem.
I will
That's
say it
them.
first.
That's on them.
I will say it first. They did.
And you
well,
said
like
no.
they're kind of giving up on trying to recruit you into
Yeah,
their
I think
clan
that.
now.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like, we know he's not going to, so we're just gonna like leave him.
So what's your plan?
My plan is just to be myself, have fun.
I mean, to be fair though,
Schmuck.
I don't know that I would want someone in my clan. Like I gave him a pattern for thrown weapons like 3 months ago, and he still doesn't have thrown weapons. So
And To be fair,
He said I don't have the money.
I don't
the
have
bird
that.
seed
Actually,
at
I
Walmart's
do have it now.
$2
Hey,
and some change.
I will say this: I will have all of it by next weekend.
Y'all heard this.
By next weekend, I will have my cards. I will have more than 3.
Well, by the time this airs, you've got 3 days or something. 2 days.
Okay, that's easy.
Well,
we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
and we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.